Hi, everybody. My name is Nadia Lutz, and we are going to do the third week of our central nervous system and our DNA reset. So, first, we'll go over talking about why it's important to tackle trapped emotions. I think most of us are probably pretty aware of that, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. And then we're going to dive into our organs. On the Thursday or Friday of every week, I muscle test for the group and see where we need to go next, right? So it was 100% organs need some work. So we're gonna dive into that. I have specific playlists you can play for the organs, and it's gonna be a technique where you're just gonna kind of talk to your organs, feel your organs, and find out what they need. Okay. Um, Now I have to move this. Just one second. Okay. Okay. So our limbic system is kind of decides if we're in fight or flight or rest and digest. Impossible to heal if our amygdala, which handles all the emotions, is not happy. If that stays in fight or flight, it's going to downregulate all our organs because, if the typical thing is if you have to lift a car if someone or if a tiger is chasing you, right? Your brain could actually care less if your organs are functioning because you need a shot of adrenaline just to make for a quick amount of time just to make that happen. But with a lot of trauma, we can get stuck in that. So it's important that we are able to get back into rest and digest so that we can heal. And then the frontal lobe, the logical part of our brain's like, oh, okay, everything's cool. So these are just another technique that'll help us to get into rest and digest by dealing with some emotions in our organs. It's called amygdala hijack. It's kind of your primitive brain takes over and it can like leave you in fight or flight. There are six big emotions that kind of play. There are a lot of emotions, but they can all kind of go down into sadness, anger, fear, hurt, guilt, and shame. Shame being the lowest vibration. So we want to make sure we get rid of that in addition to all of the other ones. And I'll show you some techniques for that. Now, if you want to explore further, feel free to screenshot this. It'll be posted in our group also. I love all these books. They're not in any particular order. I think they all have a lot of fabulous information. The Body Keeps a Score. Bessel van der Kolk also has many other books as well. So feel free to look at those also. And all of these authors also have video presentations online too. If you don't want to read the whole book, you can go ahead and watch them. But if you want to kind of dive deeper into this, I suggest any of these books. So we don't really talk about trapped emotions in our culture. We just kind of expect people to deal with it and we just stuff them down. A typical example is when a baby's crying, we're just like, shh, don't cry. It's okay. Don't cry. Well, no, it's actually okay to cry, right? We have to emote. We have to get it out of our system. We have to teach our kids to, pound on the cushions on the sofa if they're angry, right? We have to get that out so that they don't become trapped because quite literally, this is what they can look like. It can cause pain anywhere in your body. It can cause organs to stop working. So trauma, shock, and emotions that aren't dealt with, they kind of, it's like an onion. They just keep going there. So for instance, if you had a heartbreak at an early age for some reason, that may be your place where all of your trapped emotions go and you just keep stuffing them down so you don't cry in public and you don't go down into grief and things like that. And then you start having problems with your heart, or you feel tightness in your heart, or things become blocked. So it's important that we deal with them. Here's another representation of where they can be trapped, typical places they're trapped. They love to go into like joints and organs. So energy flows where intention goes, right? So it's super important because they're all made of energy. And if we rub our hands together, we can kind of feel heat. And if you go like this with your hands, you can actually feel the energy, right? So pain is trapped energy and or trapped inflammation. So that's kind of the premise of most of this presentation. So thinking about trauma and shock and negative things can keep you in a very small box. And it's limited by the past and the beliefs you've created around the events in that part of your life. And it quite literally leaves you stuck, right? Or it can leave you stuck. We're the same energy as the sun, stars, and the ocean. Like that's what we are. We're made of pure energy. We're made of light. So we're going to learn some techniques to move the energy in our body and get rid of some of those trapped emotions and trapped energy. So I have screenshots on some of the major organs. What we're going to do is talk briefly about them. Feel free to screenshot these. They will be also in the video, but everyone can mute themselves. That'd be great. But feel free to screenshot them because we have a little playlist on the side. The playlists actually came from Alice in the main Solex group. There are a lot of great suggestions she made. And she did this based on the meridians, right? So a lot of us also have either an infrared device or terahertz, right? So this stomach area, if we look at the playlist, it's actually the stomach meridian that's being targeted. So what you could do is you could, in addition to the techniques you'll learn today, you could wand the stomach area, or you could wand the stomach meridian, and you can do a quick Google search for that, right? So typical emotions that get trapped in the stomach, it can be a lot of different things, but it's stress, anxiety, heartbreak, heartache, despair, anxiety, failure, kind of this hopelessness, low self-esteem. And it talks a little bit about the function of the stomach spleen. We tend to work with those together because they sit right next to each other. So the image on the left is the stomach, as well as the part of the colon that goes right down into the intestines. And then you can see the spleen, the pinkish purplish one, is right next to it. So since the spleen is so small, it tends to hold a lot of trapped emotions. It just kind of gets stuck there. And there's some symptoms of an imbalance down here. It can be anything from like stomach gas, distension, loose stools, too much bleeding at menstruation, bruising, pale lips, tiredness. It can be a lot of different things. So we're going to go through all of the organs, and then as we're going through, if something resonates with you, go ahead and write it down because you may want to focus on that area. We'll all do heart together. And then I'm going to have you pick a different organ that you would like to do. Danny, I think you're unmuted if you could mute yourself.
Oh, how do I do that? Wait.
Okay. So the next thing is lung, colon, and throat. They kind of all go together with the trapped emotions. Actually, we're not going to do heart together. We're going to do lung together. I forgot I muscle tested for lung. We're all in this group taking very shallow breaths. And if you can see at the picture of the lung at the bottom, the diaphragm is so here are your lungs and the diaphragm sitting there. When we don't, right below it, when we don't take a deep breath and that diaphragm doesn't descend, you're not getting all the benefits and you're not getting enough oxygen to the brain. So it's very difficult to heal the central nervous system. And then that ties right into the stomach, all the same shallow breathing and asthma, lung conditions. It has to do with a lot of sadness, sorrow, grief, crying, self-abuse, stubbornness, rejection. And again, we have the playlist. So these are meridians. So you can Google lung meridian, and you could do lungs if you're doing the terahertz, and you can also use infrared. But you notice how the lungs are tied right to the throat, right? So people who are having difficulties with swallowing, lung exercises are great. And what we'll be doing is we'll be humming, gargling, and singing or singing while we're doing these exercises. And it will help the throat, the vagus nerve, and then it will calm the organ down as well. We didn't really touch on this presentation on the vagus nerve, but it goes from your brainstem and attaches to all of these organs. So it goes behind your vocal cords. When you hum, it can make a huge difference and actually help to activate and keep all the organs happy. Okay, next is liver gallbladder. It can have a lot of congestion in the body. Emotions, typically people think of anger. It can be frustration, it could be hatred, indecisiveness, panic, or taken for granted. It can cause a lot of pain almost anywhere, specifically like dizziness, anything with the eyes or eye conditions. So liver, I think 85% of the people needed to work on liver, spleen. So that would be one that you would go back after our video and kind of do these same techniques on liver, gallbladder. Okay, heart and circulation. This is the one that typically we think of with emotions, right? Because we have, love unreceived and depression, insomnia, insecurity can happen with the heart. And it's not just the heart, but we can take a look at the picture on the left. And obviously, it's the whole arteries, veins, circulation, right? Including up to the head. It's not really shown in this picture, but we need our heart to be happy so that it is able to produce that blood going everywhere. And sometimes you have heart palpitations or you feel physical symptoms in the heart, but sometimes it could be elsewhere because you can see how the blood flow is quite literally going throughout the entire body. So you may not have the feelings of any strange blood circulation or irregular heartbeat, yet it may be the heart. It froze up. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think it went too fast. Let me get out of this for a second. Okay, we don't want to forget kidney, bladder. So they tend to go hand in hand. And a lot of people are having bladder issues and or kidney issues because of all the viral load in our body. So if you have frequent urination or any pain with urination, or you have that mid back pain, sometimes, or even low back pain, incontinence, night sweats, you're having poor short-term memory or any tinnitus, any ringing in the ears or any hearing issues, I would work on kidney and bladder as well. So this gets activated trauma, horror, insecurity, dread, blaming, fear, right? If someone gets in a car accident and it's a big car accident, they lose their bladder a lot, right? So it's one of the first things to go because your brain really doesn't care if you urinate all over yourself if you're in some sort of big trauma or shock. And not only that, but the vagus nerve attaches down to the bladder area. And that's the lower portion of it, right? The top portion is up by the cerebellum. So on either ends, we need to kind of work with them and keep them happy. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is we are going to work on the lungs because I think that people can really feel a difference on the lungs. And when I say lungs, I mean trachea going all the way up to the throat. Okay. So I'm going to have you do an exercise. You can feel free to turn off your video for this one if you want. You can lay down, you can sit, but I want you to get nice and comfortable. And then I'll talk you through a little exercise so that we can work on our lungs. Actually, you know what? Before you disappear, you don't need your video on, but watch me for a second before you lay down. Where we're going to be doing pressure on our lungs. And we're going to take our lungs and we're going to divide them into fours. Okay, so each side of our lungs, when we go to the right side of our lungs, we'll divide it into four. And then when we go to the left side of the lung, we'll divide it in four. So pretend like this is one of my, like my chest area right here. I'm going to have you gently move your skin side to side in all directions. And you'll notice there'll be fascial tension, fascial adhesions in different areas. When the lungs become constricted and we're not taking those deep breaths and our ribs aren't moving, the fascia makes it so it's very difficult to do that. So we're going to release some of that real soft fascia. It's like a nickel's worth of pressure. It's not really that hard. I'm going to have you push into tightness. I'll talk you through it. And then I'm just going to have you breathe. Okay. Okay. So now you can go ahead and get comfy wherever you're going to be. You can be sitting, you can be laying down. If we start doing this and you're not comfortable, you need to change your position, feel free to. Okay. Go ahead and get comfortable. If you're sitting down, feet are grounded on the floor. If you're laying somewhere on the ground, I want you to just be aware of wherever you're laying, whether it's a bed or a floor or a couch. And let's just start breathing. We're going to do nostril breathing for this whole exercise because that calms the central nervous system down. We're going to breathe in our nose and out our nose. We'll do it a couple more times. Deep breath in and out the nose. One more time, deep breath in and out the nose. And I just want you to continue breathing like that. I'd like you to close your eyes if they're open. And I'd like you to kind of step outside of your body, above your body, and just kind of scan your body. Notice if you have any tension anywhere. Your neck, your shoulders, your fingers, your legs, your lower back. Just kind of let yourself sink wherever you are, whether it's sitting or laying down. Just let everything melt. We're going to take another deep breath in. On the exhale, send that exhale to where you feel any tension, whether it's between your shoulder blades, neck, wherever. Let's do that again. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. We're going to continue breathing, and I want you to start to pay attention to your ribs. Notice if they're moving or if they're not. They have really soft tissue in between each rib, and it's meant to move, but sometimes it gets stuck, so we'll release that. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. I'd like you to take your right hand and cross it over to your left lung. So it's across your body, and your hand is laying flat on your lung. So kind of like an I Pledge of Allegiance from the US. And I'd just like you to feel the energy in your lung right now, if you can feel it. It's okay if you can't, but just notice. When you put your hand there, is there tightness anywhere else? Pain anywhere else? Deep breath in and out. I'd like you to keep your hand there, but hover it off your skin. So it's about 1 inch off of your lung. Kind of move it around. And notice if you can feel that heat, that energy, even though your hand is now moved away about 1 inch off of your lung. Just going to move the energy around. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out your nose. Let everything relax. Do another one and notice your ribs. See if they're moving just by doing this simple thing. Deep breath in. And exhale. Notice if you have anything bubbling up, any sadness, any grief. It's okay. Just let it go. Don't stuff it back down. You're going to take your right hand back on your left lung. And I'd like you to move your hand towards your armpit and then towards your sternum, your breastbone. So with very light pressure, you're moving it back and forth. And notice if you have tension or tightness in either one. For me, it's to my sternum. So I'm going to take my pressure of my hand and I'm going to pull towards my sternum just gently. And I'm going to breathe into that tightness. Deep breath in. Out the nose. Another deep breath in. Out the nose. Now I'm going to take my pressure and go up towards my chin, my collarbone, and then down. So I'm going north and south on my body. We'll do the same thing. Find the tension. Mine is going to my collarbone. I'm going to hold it there and I'm going to breathe in. Just let go of all the emotions in there. All the trauma. Perfectly okay if you start crying. Deep breath in. And out. Now reassess and see if it opened up a little bit. When you're doing this on your own, if it didn't open up, you're going to do a couple more breaths. So now we're going to push up towards your armpit so it's at a diagonal. I'm going towards my armpit and then down towards my breast, the lower part of my breastbone. I actually have tension in both places. So going down is worse for me. I'm going to go down and I'm going to breathe. Breathe in your nose and out. Let all the tension just melt away for your neck, shoulders, upper back. Again, breathe in and out. And I'd like you to reassess and see if it opened up. Let's go up towards the armpit. This is a common one for people. Pressing up to the armpit, breathe in and out. Notice how your ribs are opening up a little bit more. Take another deep breath in and out. Now reassess going down and up. It should have released. If it didn't, you would do a few more when you're doing it on your own. Now we're going to go in the opposite angle. So you're going down away towards your breast and down towards your ribs. And then you're going up towards the top of your sternum. For me, my pressure is going down. So I'm going to push into my tension or pressure, and I'm just going to breathe. And out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then reassess. Now I'd like you to take your right hand on your right lung and your left hand on your left lung. So you have one hand on each lung, and take a deep breath in. And then out. Do it again and notice how your left side feels. If it's a little looser and you're breathing better. Deep breath in. And out. For me, my left side is not moving as much. My ribs are not moving as much. It's okay if you open up both sides. We're going to let your hands release. Feel the bed or chair again. Let everything sink. We're now going to take your left hand and cross it over to your right lung. We'll do the same exercise. So we'll go east-west. We'll go towards your armpit and towards your sternum. Go side to side. It's still gentle pressure. And go ahead and go into the tension or pressure into the sternum. Deep breath in. And out the nose. Now you know what to expect, so really let things go. Anything that bubbles up, you're just going to let it go. Deep breath in. And out. Reassess. You still have tension, go towards that tension and breathe again. Breathing in. Getting rid of all the sadness and sorrow and crying. Self-abuse, defensiveness, rejection. Just have the intention of releasing it. It's really that simple. Okay, reassess. Now we're going to go north-south. So we go up to the collarbone and you go down towards the breast. Pick the one that has a little bit of tension, go towards it, and we breathe. In the nose and out. Notice the neck tension, the shoulder tension, everything melting away. Getting rid of the anxiety. Deep breath in and out. Feeling with inner peace. Deep breath in and out. Go ahead and reassess. Now we're going up towards your armpit and down towards your lower part of your sternum. Go with the one that's a little tighter, a little bit more tension. Take a deep breath in. Now really let it out this time. Another deep breath in. And out. Reassess. Let's go down and then up towards the collarbone now. Go into the pressure, into the tightness, and breathe. Deep breath in. Relax your intestines too while you do this one. Exhale. Notice if you have any tension in your digestive system, relax it. Deep breath in. And exhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. Reassess. Do the other direction if you need to, or stay at the same one. Deep breath in. And exhale. Set the intention to breathe free and deeply. Deep breath in. And exhale. Go ahead and reassess. Let's take both hands, right hand on right lung, left hand on left lung. Let's take a deep breath in now. Up the nose. Another deep breath in. And out. Let your hands glide down towards your side. They can be on your thighs if you're sitting. They can be on the bed, couch if you're laying down. Get that visual image of your lungs that you saw or that you have in your mind. From the crown of your head, I'd like you to imagine golden liquid light coming down your spinal column, coming down your throat, going right into your lungs. It's just melting away all the tension, all the trapped emotions. Set the intention, 100% healed, 100% full breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Imagine your lungs filling up with gentle liquid light. It's going to continue down the spinal column to your tailbone. Deep breath in. And exhale. It's going to continue all the way down to your toes, all the way out to your fingertips. Your whole body is in gentle golden liquid light. You can feel a warming inside. Deep breath in. Exhale out, it radiates out further. It's now leaving your body. It's coming 6 inches away. So now you're surrounded in liquid light. With each breath, it'll go out further. It's now going into your whole room. It's going out further to your whole house. Next breath, it's expanding to your neighborhood. You have a big golden bubble around you. Next breath, it's expanding to your town or your city. Next big breath is going out to your whole state or county or province or township. Next breath is going to your country. Next breath is going to your continent. Next breath is going out around the whole entire earth, magnifying our intentions. It's now easy to breathe, filled with inner peace and love and peace, calm, tranquility. And now it's radiating off the earth, going up. Take a couple of breaths here before we come back. Notice how calm your breathing is, but deep and full. Central nervous system is completely happy. And you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Do some gentle movements. And then you can roll over on your side if you are laying down. You can move if you're sitting up. You can sit up if you're laying down. And we can slowly make our way back. And you can come on up. Oh, Teresa got an ear pop. How'd that feel for everybody? Anyone have any good experience? Was it difficult? Somebody? Peaceful.
It was relaxing.
Good. So this is what we're going to be doing this week. remember our vagus nerve comes from our central nervous system. It attaches to all the organs. So it's difficult for us to reset our central nervous system without making our organs happy, right? Especially our lungs. If you think about it, it's, our lungs and our heart are super important to our brain, right? Without oxygen, without blood, we don't live. So when we take those really shallow breaths, it'll make our pain intensify. A little hangnail will feel like it's a huge cut, right? So we need to really just calm the central nervous system down. So heart and lungs will be key, and all those other organs also. So you can do all of them. We'll be focusing on one set of organs per day. So I'll kind of muscle test to see where we need to go from there. And then what you can do is you can make your own playlist. So I'm not going to have a really specific playlist that says you have to do this, right? If we look at what's up on the screen, we have a bunch of different things you can add, and there are other ones out there also, right? So if you muscle test, you can go through and make your own playlist. If we're doing lungs that day or small intestine, you could use any of these. You can use your intuition. If you feel like you need to add other things, you can do that as well. If you're having allergies, you may want to do allergy plus. So you're going to be making your own playlist, okay? Any questions about this part? No? Okay. So we're going to continue to do inner voice. But I want you to start paying attention. Let's talk about the scanner a little bit. When you do inner voice, look at the corresponding note A, right? You can see it's going to our lungs, the vocal cords, our mouth, and it travels down to our thighs also. So when you are doing this, you might start looking at your inner voice reports and looking at your first one and your last one. Those are the organs that you may need to give a little bit more attention to that day, right? It's just another thing you can do to get the most out of your scanner. You don't have to do this, but you can come down here, and in this one, look at the top emotion. It's shame, right? So don't forget about deleting the emotions. You can swipe your hand right across, just say deleting shame, deleting trauma from the past, deleting all trauma. You can have that intention while you're doing your exercise, the kind of meditation and releasing your organs. Now, self-confidence isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I would, instead of deleted, I'd say optimize self-confidence, right? Increase self-confidence. So if you want to look at your reports this week on the inner voice and get a little bit more detail, feel free to do that. And you can look at some of these things, rigid beliefs. So if we think of rigid beliefs in lungs, right, we're not able to move the lungs, right? So we're trapped. So we want everything to expand and contract to make everything happy. Now, I really like to use essential oils while we're working on these organs. And I usually do it in the, in the chakra area. So here are just some different things that you can use, the primary oils and related to the chakras. Feel free to screenshot that if you'd like. You don't have to use all of them. You could pick one of them. And if you want to use something different, you can do that also. Notice that they're picking the color of things, right? If we look at the solar plexus, we've got lemon and ginger. Those are lemony, yellowy, right? So you could cut them, put it on your sacral chakra. You can wand on it. You can do that same exercise on the chakras, right? You can notice which is tight, and then you can let everything kind of release. Debbie, do you have a question?
Yeah, you're showing your full slide is not showing because you're on the slide layout show. We're missing
Oh, thank you. Okay.
the top chakras and stuff.
Is that better?
Yeah, thank you. The crown shows now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can't go to chat when this is on. So if someone says anything in chat, you have to let me know. Okay. And this is just why we're adding essential oils, right? It's capable of going to the blood-brain barrier, so it can really calm the central nervous system down. It can help regenerate DNA. we have 3 different cranial nerves that go from the olfactory and go to different areas. So it's an easy way to release the neurotransmitters and neurochemicals to kind of calm the central nervous system. And it also has tons of other great things. It relaxes, clears the mind, increases your ozone, and all that. So that's why I like to use them. And here are just some other things you can, mixes that are nice. We have peaceful and calm, we have grief. You can screenshot that if you like. There are so many other ones, so feel free to make your own ones. These are just some examples. Now, vitamins are super important. We talked about that in week 1, right? Methylated B vitamins are great for if you have that MTHFR gene. If that's showing up on your scan, you'll definitely want to do a methylated B vitamins. I understand some people can't take them. That's okay. But if you can, it'll really help optimize the brain, okay? Also C, D, and K. Minerals and amino acids are critical for that central nervous system. We talked about that a little bit more in detail. Notice on your scans if magnesium keeps coming up, you can rub magnesium lotion on your digestive system to help with the digestive system, also help overall. So make sure those are happy. If not, you can add bee pollen for amino acids. That would be great. And then omega-3s. They're critical for brain health. So if you didn't catch that first video, you definitely want to have high quality omega-3s. Okay, so we're still doing our inner voice. We're going to do our body systems and we're going to do our vitals. You can also, so let's say we're working on the heart, right? Before you go into your exercise, you could open up your body system and look at your heart report, right? And you can look at those emotional causes. You could first delete some of those emotional causes, right? Kind of clear your mind of that. And maybe you can look and you can see some other things. Okay, the arteries. So maybe in your mind's eye, you have the arteries filling with little light, right? You pay a little bit more attention into the calming of that area. So you can use your, you can look at your reports if you want to get a little bit more detailed. And then obviously you have ways to improve your circulatory. You can implement some of those. Now, we just had a huge release last night of more homeopathics, right? So we have to learn about all the Australian flowers and everything like that. But don't forget, if you go to Cephi and then you go to homeopathy, quantum homeopathy, and then you go to by symptoms, you can scroll down. There are so many. I haven't counted them. I don't know how many there are, but there are a lot dealing with stress and emotions and depression, right? You can imprint these into jewelry, into water. You could do it, imprint it into your essential oils, right? So let's say I was having stress, anxiety, and depression, or any of those. I could imprint lavender with Ignatia Amara up here on the left, right? I could put it in this on the scanner, press imprint, and then I could rub it into my heart. I could wand it. I could do the infrared, and then I could do my visual of everything, just kind of releasing, right? So we're using kind of a lot of different tools to magnify our results. Now, if this stresses you out, you don't have to do it, right? If you're like, oh my gosh, I can barely even run a scan, that's okay. Just run a scan. Just know this is in your back pocket if you want to kind of take it to the next level. Jewelry will last as long until you have a fight or something like that, right? So if you have a trauma shock or something like that, you'll need to erase it, and then you'll want to go ahead and imprint it again. Emma, you have a question about this or in general?
Hello,
Go ahead.
I got a question.
Yep, go ahead.
For example, in homeopaths, I got a symptom that it doesn't come anywhere that I can see, like for example, vitiligo. How can I get?
I would go more general, right? So kind of go to more general of if it's not specifically listed in there.
Okay.
Don't go quite as specific.
Okay, things that I will know that will help.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and another thing, Nadia, I forgot how to imprint.
We'll go over that afterwards, okay?
Okay.
Because most of the people know how to do it, so I don't want to, I want them to be able to
yeah, sure. Brilliant.
do that. Yeah, so just go to like skin issues if it was, but right, you would go to that. Okay.
I have a question, Nadia.
Yeah, go ahead.
I see that there's like a a comma between, always thought that it was one only that you could choose for your symptom. And I see that you have depression, comma, stress, comma, anxiety, comma in the symptoms list.
Mhm.
How do you do that? I was only able to do one and then ran the list of
So
homeopathy.
I didn't type these in. When you go to by symptoms, there's a little
Yes.
arrow, and when you click the arrow, they're there. So the other ones in the small white box, that's actually in our database like that.
So they're listed as a row of depression, stress, anxiety, grief, and sadness.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Well, after we're done, I'll go over and we'll go to the AO and I'll show you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because it's super powerful.
Yeah.
In addition, if this is kind of what comes down, look at the far right one. It's telling us right here. It's just fabulous. Organs harmed by emotions, stomach by worry, organs harmed by emotions, mind, brain, stress, right? So I didn't put those in there. AO did. And when
I can't see that. It's
okay, when you click on it, it will tell you all of the homeopathic remedies, which would be good for that area. So we'll go over that afterwards when we're done. Okay, and then if your polarity's off, you're going to want to run this playlist. So go ahead and screen that, Debbie. You're going to want to put this in. Anyone else who is having some polarity issues. If you're also having polarity issues, remember you want to do the figure 8 of the spoon on the soles of the feet and the hands, right? The longer your system has been out of polarity, the longer it'll take to get back in. You want to make sure you're hydrated. For those that didn't watch the first video, when your polarity's off, it's like being in the car with your gas and the brake on at the same time. Things won't work as well, or things will be a little bad. Yep, an illness can definitely put you into polarity freak out. Okay, here's some other lists. If you want to add these, you can feel free to screenshot these. I love doing like a chakra healing. You could do that same technique and have all of these playing, do them simultaneously, and it would be like an 8-minute thing. You could have that same feeling of that golden light coming out, right? It's really lovely. You can do good vibes. You could have the one for the vagus nerve. And then we have flower remedies. So there's so many different flower remedies. If you're not familiar how to do that, it's in Cephi, Quantum Flowers. And then when you open it up, you can choose the flower yourself, or you can press scan and it will tell you which one. I'll go over that after we're done, but don't dismiss Quantum Flowers. They're super powerful. And then, of course, we have other things that can help, other modalities, which would be great in addition to while we're working on these organs. So feel free to add other things as well. Any questions so far? No questions about the presentation? I'm going to open up a browser with the AO scan. Any questions about the group also? Like people having a hard time finding things?
And Nadia, is it not too much to run like multiple sets of frequencies for one person?
So
Cephis, I mean to
most
say
people are
cephis.
fine, but some people are really susceptible to frequencies, and they have to do it slow. So the best thing is actually to muscle test if you can for that person to see. If you can't do that, then it would just be like a trial and error. And make sure you're talking to them. Do you feel okay with this? Do you feel okay with that? And just increase. Most people are fine, but when the longer you've had any type of trauma, sometimes it's not.
Okay.
Can you please show these again so we can screenshot again? Yes, I will. Let me show you this. Okay, so let's go to homeopathics. So remember, this is your main page, your infinity signs, how you get around. You're going to click on Cephi. Then you're going to click on quantum homeopathics. Oh, I'm not showing you my thing. Yeah, I just realized that. Okay. So again, we have our infinity sign in the corner. That's how you get around. This is your home screen. Move this up so I can click on it. We're going to click on Cephi. We're going to click on quantum homeopathics. And this is what I was talking about, right? It's the green, the dark green is on quantum homeopathics. There's so many. Cell salt's fabulous. Cell salts are really critical for brain as well. Nosodes, they've taken a diseased tissue and made a remedy just similar to regular homeopathics. So for instance, carcinosinum, they took a cancer tissue and made a remedy. It's like treats like, right? But this is the one, it just makes it easy. So we click on by symptoms. It looks like nothing happened. But when you click this arrow, we now have all of these options. Okay, so you see, I didn't write these in here. These will be in yours too. Let's go to anxiety, post-COVID anxiety and depression. Okay. It has identified all of these homeopathic remedies as possible remedies for this anxiety caused by post-COVID. Now, when I press scan, it will reorder it for the person who is listed. I'm listed right now. And now you can either go down and you can imprint into something. So I could press imprint and I could put a ring up there. After first, if I'm doing a ring, I would put my ring on and I would erase the energy from it. I wait till the flame went down. Takes about 20 seconds. And then I would hold my ring up and I would now imprint. Takes about 10 seconds.
Sorry, I was just doing it wrong.
Let's just say it did that. Now, I had it on individual, so it only did one. If I put it on simultaneous, it's going to do all of them. I can do simultaneous for all of them. It doesn't sound great. You don't have to listen to them. If I turn my volume down right now, you wouldn't be able to hear me, right? So when you're doing this, keep the volume down. You don't have to listen to it. So this little by symptoms thing is pretty amazing, right? Bipolar. Every time I go in here, I find something I haven't seen. So we just worked on lungs. We might want to do breathing difficulties, right? Or maybe we go down and see what they have under lungs. Or organs. Don't forget that organ one. So there's a lot under lungs. We could do breathless, inflammation, pneumonia, pleuritis, mucus in the lungs, right? If you had a cold, you probably want to do mucus in the lungs. Now, I just showed you how to do jewelry, but let's say I wanted to make a remedy. I could take a glass of water, right? This is a glass container. You want to use glass. I could either hold it up to my screen or I could put it, if I had a phone, I would put it on the phone, right? I would erase my water, so I'd get rid of all the negative energy there. And then I would imprint into my water, right? I had simultaneously on, so I was doing all of them at the same time. So I'm making a custom homeopathic remedy for my lungs, right? If we wanted to deal with the emotions, now you can see this, right? Organs harmed by emotions, lungs by grief. Again, I didn't put this in. So now it's identifying different emotions and it's telling me everything I've already imprinted in green. So this little thing is just so amazing, right? So it's another level that you can do if you want to really dive in this week and really go to town on your organs. Perfectly fine if you don't have time, right? You can still just run your inner voice, your vitals, and then your comprehensive. On the comprehensive, we are going to change, so we're going to start adding those organs in, okay? Because I'm going to be doing a lot of back work on your organs. So I'm going to be working on lungs starting on Tuesday, okay? And then I'll tell you in the affirmations which organ I'm working on based on what the group needs. Okay? Now, are there questions?
I have a question, Nadia.
Yeah. Who's that?
So this is Lauren.
Oh, hi, Lauren. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you? So the homeopathics that are not highlighted there, is there a way to just highlight the ones to, like, if you wanted to add aconitum and aurum,
Yeah,
you
you would
do that,
click
or you
on
have to go out and do it like singular?
No, you would click on it there, and then I would come down and I would imprint.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong with doing them all again, because your body is just going to make it stronger, the ones that were already used, right? And your body's only going to accept what it needs. So I typically, even though it shows me what I've already done, I typically would just go simultaneous and just do them all at once because it's just super quick.
Oh, okay.
But for people who, I know this much about homeopathy, and there's some people that's the whole thing they practice. And I understand that some people believe that just like one remedy, right? You only do one remedy. So I understand there's a lot of variation in what people believe about homeopathy. So everyone has to do what's right for them.
Sounds
Does that
good.
answer your
Nadia,
question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
and Nadia, for homeopathic or cell salts or no salts, we have to pick ourselves what we want to choose. There is no scan.
Correct.
We have to individually pick.
Yeah. Cell salts, it's the same. I mean, we should all be taking cell salts. So I would, if you have the sugar pellets, I would do a bunch of sugar pellets or just have cell salt water and put them all in there and just take a shot glass of those cell salts every day. There's like a whole practice that people do. They do cell salt facials, right? So you take a before picture of someone's face, and then you can identify, like if you have lines here, you need this cell salt. If you have lines here, you need this, you can look at a face and tell what cell salts they need. Again, this is energy of cell salts. So your body is only going to take what it needs. So I would recommend having a mason jar full and just take a shot a day of cell salts and print them all. I mean, why not,
So
right?
dilute those cell salts that come in the bottle.
No. So let's just say that this is a mason jar, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just going to click on the very top one, Calcarea florica, and I'm going to imprint it. Let's just say it's done. I'm going to go up to the next one, and I'm going to do the second one down, and I'm going to imprint it. And I would continue till I got all 12 cell salts, right? Now I have a remedy of 12 cell salts, which is crazy because you're going to go into a store and you're going to pay
I know.
$10 for a little tiny bottle, right? And you're supposed to take at least 4 a day. So, I mean, it's here. Why not use it? Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Does that make sense to
Yes.
understand that? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
How long will that stay in the water, Nadia?
You kind of have to muscle test that because, if you have really good high quality water with minerals, it's going to last longer. If you're using tap water, it won't last as long. So it really varies.
So like if you use reverse osmosis and then put electrolytes and trace minerals and stuff in it, that's not as good as spring water, but that will
Yeah,
probably
my
hold it.
water usually lasts 3 weeks when I have like something. As long as you don't want to buy your computer, EMF. There's so many variables, right? Yeah, so my water usually lasts about 3 weeks.
Too
I have a
bad they
question.
don't have the, when you go to the cell salts, you can get the 12-in-1 or the bioplasma, which is the 12-in-1. It's too bad they don't have that as
Yeah.
an option in the AO scan.
Yeah, but look what we have.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
it's so funny. Every time they come out with a remedy, we're always, we're at the day of discovering. We're always like, oh, why doesn't it have this? It's just like, be grateful, right? And it has all of this. I do the same thing though. It would be nice if it was one button, but it's not. However, the Bach flowers, right? So I clicked on my infinity sign, going back to Cephi, going to go to quantum flowers, right? So where was I going with this? Oh, we do have this of the Bach flowers, ultimate emotions. Let me go back there. So I would go down to Cephi, and then I'd go to this energy homeoenergetics. When I go down to ultimate emotions right here, it has all of the Bach flowers. It does not have the Australian flowers yet, but they say that all of the Bach and the Australian flowers will eventually be in ultimate emotions. So that's really nice to have that. Yeah, these Australian flowers are pretty amazing.
You know what, Nadia, I
Yeah.
had no idea that Infinity scan took you back. I've had my scanner for 4 years. And I
Oh
didn't know that.
no.
This is like so valuable, just that. Thank you.
I don't even know how you get around without the infinity sign. You keep going back. Yeah,
I have
and
a question. Sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead. When you're broadcast, say if you're broadcasting from the homeopathics, is it better to do individual or simultaneously?
It's completely up to you.
I see. Because I didn't
Whatever.
understand the difference between individual and simultaneous, really, as far as I know it's one or it's all of them sort of thing, but
Right.
I just didn't know the benefit or if no benefit or whatever.
So obviously, if you do it individually, it's paying a little bit more attention to every single one, right? If you had a playlist, for example, that had varying things, it might be better to do individual, right? So let's just say we had brain ADHD, right? So it might be better to do specific ones individually because they're a little bit different, right? So you have like Nerve Easy Plus. This Nerve Easy Plus has 20 or 30 frequencies in itself. So if you have the time, individual is a little bit more effective for doing these playlists. Homeopathy, they're all kind of the same, but I guess maybe the same principle would apply. I didn't give a very good answer.
Nadia, would you show the CEPI playlist for the acute pain? I wasn't
Yeah.
able to take a screenshot.
Sure. So I click custom playlist.
There you go. Thank you.
And then there's more.
Thank you.
So don't forget, we can put up to 15 things in here. And if you want to edit this, if you don't know this little trick, this little copy button right here, you click it and now it's copy and you could change it, right? So let's just say I don't need my sacral chakra, but I may need my heart chakra. So I could come in here and I could do heart chakra and I could save it. And now we have a copy with heart chakra instead, right? And then I change my mind. I don't want that anymore. I could just delete it.
Does it matter the order that these are in?
No, Lauren has said that, although I am a little anal because I do, whenever I do, oh, I don't have it here. How about that? Oh, yeah, I do. I like to do, when I'm doing energetic clearing, I always like to have energetic clearing at the top and energy shield at the bottom. But Lauren said it absolutely does not matter. But that's just my little pet peeve.
I watched a video, Nadia, about the energetic clearing and the the clearing and the shielding. And they said that if you do that, you should only play that playlist once because you're clearing and then you're
yeah.
Is that true, or you can just keep playing it?
I think you can keep playing it.
Okay.
Especially if your intention is just to clear negative things, right?
Yeah. I'm wondering, I know this is a selfish question, but I see that you have brain and stroke in there. Since I recently had a couple of TIAs, could you show me that so I could?
Of course. Okay. So again, it's going to be 2 because they're 15. Take that one.
Okay.
And then here's the other.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm going to open up my playlist. Let me know if anyone wants any. How about that?
Oh my gosh. Bladder, UTI. I'm dealing with that right now.
A lot of people are, yeah. Because again, it's that vagus nerve, right? If you're in shock or in trauma, it's the bottom of the vagus nerve. And everyone get that one? Here's the second part. And all the viruses have activated this. So if you've had COVID, even if you've been exposed to it energetically, a lot of people, when they cough and sneeze, are now having issues.
So this one will work for the bladder inconsistency as well, right?
Yes, it will. It works fabulous.
Do you have one
And
for
can it run
shedding?
24/7?
Okay, so this one has a lot of detoxes. I wouldn't necessarily do this one 24/7 unless you had an emergency, right? Like you were really just complete loss of bladder. I wouldn't do this 24/7.
So what's
Can
the
you post
sufficient
that?
time to
Can you
run?
post that
I'm
to the
sorry.
group?
Sorry.
Can I what?
What's a
Could you post-
sufficient sorry.
Go ahead,
What's
Danny.
a sufficient time to run for the bladder
Oh,
playlist
again,
to
my
be effective?
answer to that is always going to be what?
Muscle test. Muscle test, yeah.
Because everyone's different. I don't mean to be annoying.
Correct.
Everyone is different. Which one to the group? Bladder?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do. I'm not going to do all of mine to the group, but I'll do bladder.
Yeah, you always have the best playlists. I just I'm trying to screenshot it and it's so blurry, like I can't see it, but I'm also like on my phone, so
Yeah.
that makes it more difficult. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you could open one for memory, if you have, I'm not sure.
I do have one for memory. So I have to remember what I called it. What kind of memory issues?
Just like not recalling things, not remembering.
Is it recent or is it longer onset?
It's due to the epilepsy, I think.
Okay, so let's open one for seizure. Let me know when you have this one.
I did it.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
And then this would be good too because it has that perfect recall.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Nadia, do you have one for, like one thing that comes up on me a lot is the artery elasticity or something, in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a good one for that?
Yep. Brain artery.
Okay. And hypoxia comes up a lot for me as well.
Yeah, that's in there.
Thank you.
Nadia, are you able to also just screenshot your playlist so that just a playlist instead of the individual ones so we can get some ideas?
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. As long as people don't ask me to go in and screenshot every single one.
Hey Nadia, this is Felicia. I'm just wondering if there's anything for digestion. I'm finding that it's changing every day. Like yesterday, it was stuck again. The day before, it was moving well, but I got stomach aches. So I know things are moving, which is a great sign, but every day's changing. But
Okay.
right now,
Here's
it's just
constipation if you want to take a screenshot.
no. I have no problem with bowel movement though. So that's the weird thing. It's all seems to be sitting in my small intestine.
And
And
there's diarrhea. Well, you would kind of want a muscle test to see what you need to do.
there's no diarrhea. I just feel like
Right,
I
but
don't know
you
what's going
understand
on.
like this is like all the same, right? You've got distended organs, digestion, gallbladders, gallstones. So I would kind of take this and tweak it, right? Make it your own muscle test, find out which would be best, right? Since it's changing back and forth, you would have to figure out what organs are, even though it, really the only one you wouldn't want to do on this is intestines to flush and diarrhea, because I'm sure it's going to be gallbladder, kidney, digestion, colon, right?
Okay, is there
you would-
anything for what that valve is called? Ileocecal? Ileos I'm wondering if it's
I
like
can't remember if it's
not
in there.
opening or opening properly. I don't even know if I'm using the right term.
Oh, it is here. Well, ileocolonic is there, not the valve itself, but you could add ileocolonic.
Colonic. Okay. All right. Every time I thought I get it, like something else changes. So it's like
Yeah, for you, it's stress. You know that. So for you, it's actually probably less about colon and more about stress-free.
All right, let me screenshot that.
And then
All
you
right.
go into homeopathics. There you go, some more. Go into homeopathics and look up stress and make some remedies.
Yeah, I had a fall too this week amidst of everything else going on. So maybe. Okay. All right. I'll straighten myself out. Thank you.
Nadia, do you have a good one for, when you go out in public? And I'm rarely sensitive to you know, shedding.
Yeah. Here's one.
We need that one, definitely.
Thank you.
And here's the second part.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've made a bunch of these up myself, but
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
And then
so.
here's one more for what the vaccine has activated, what I'm finding. Actually, I should probably put in herpes in here too. Herpes is, well, actually I should add this one. Let's see, it's AIDS is part of it now. It's always changing, but it is activating all of the old school diseases. So I'll put in herpes, hepatitis, definitely herpes. And then malaria is being reactivated. And if I have one more, we'll do yellow fever. Because these viruses are made up
When
of.
I do different kind of scan, I see malaria quite often
Yeah.
with my other device.
It's just all been reactivated. I mean, it's all, oh, it's perfect. 15.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah. So wait a minute, just a second. If anyone wants to retake this.
Yeah.
Here's the one. And then here's this one. Okay, go ahead.
Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
I did some like a tincture with Artemisia annua that I was growing in my garden. So it's in England. It probably is not very strong. So I got the tincture and I was taking it. It's supposed to be very good for malaria. And malaria comes a lot in my on my scan and on the biomagnetism as well. So I thought, can I strengthen it in here with the imprinting?
Yeah, sure.
How could I do that?
You're asking to copy it? Is that what you're asking?
I got the tincture. Can I put it in my imprint to making it stronger? Because maybe
Okay, so watch this. Okay, so I'm going to click the infinity sign to get back, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Cephi.
Cephi, yeah.
Now, first I would erase whatever you're, so if you're doing it to water, you would erase it, right? Super simple. We talked about that.
I erase my tincture, yeah.
So no, not your tincture, because that's energetic. Don't erase your tincture. But if you're, whatever it's going into, you would erase. If it's going into.
It's already done. It's already in a pot.
Okay. So now I would press imprint. Do you see how there are two screens here?
Yeah.
The one on the bottom is where you would put your remedy.
Okay.
The one on the top would be what you're imprinting it into. So it would be their water or the pellets or your jewelry or whatever.
Okay.
I remember this because salmon swim upstream. So whatever you want to go into, that's what you do. And then you simply just press start. And it's copying your tincture and putting it into whatever is up at the top.
And that will be stronger because I can drink it myself and I also can drink my own stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
original
And also because
goes
it
on the
tastes so,
bottom.
sorry.
Yeah, if it tastes bad, you just go ahead and do that. Yeah, the original goes on the bottom.
It tastes so bad, so it will be a very good idea.
So let's say I want to take the bioplasma. I want to take 12 cell salts and I have the remedy. I would take my cell salts, I dump them in a glass bowl or cup. I'd put them down here on the bottom star. I would take my mason jar of water, I'd put them up here, and I would press start. It would take the energy from the 12 cell salts and it would pop them in there.
And that's under Cephi's on the very top, imprint.
Imprint, yeah. So I'll go again. Infinity sign, Cephi, imprint.
So any supplements we have,
any
to save the money
supplement,
we can put on the bottom and just imprint the water.
Exactly.
Oh my God, so this is money saving.
So it can be very money saving. Now we also have to be careful, right? Because some people are doing this with their medications. This isn't a medical device. It can't take the place of anything, right? So our official language we have to be careful with, right? We don't want anyone to stop taking medicine taken by a doctor. And Lauren has also stated that, let's say you're doing vitamin B, right? So you're putting your vitamin B on the star at the bottom, you put your water on top. He's saying that you don't necessarily don't want to take vitamin B, but if you drink a water with the vitamin B frequency first, and then you take your vitamin B, it's priming your body to receive more of it, right? Wow. So you'll receive more benefits once you take that.
It will be good for children, though. for children that they don't want to have many things. You can put
Exactly.
it in the water.
Yeah,
My child doesn't want to take anything.
exactly. Someone else was trying to ask a question.
Yeah, Nadia, I at one time, this was about 6 months ago, thought there was an area where there were like B vitamins that you could imprint from here. I can't seem to find the B vitamins anymore.
So when you go to when you go here and you go to supplements therapies, so I clicked on my name and then supplements therapies, and you can copy things over, but you can only copy it once. But yeah, there are a bunch of things you can copy over when you do that.
Okay, yeah, it used to be in a drop-down menu somewhere.
It's still here. So let's go back to the main one.
Mhm.
You click on your name and then supplements therapies. And then if you want to add one, let's say we're doing B, I would do B vitamins. Say I took it in the morning, I would click on morning. I would put the brand, whatever brand it is, methylated B, you would write whatever you want here. My dose quantity is 1 and it's a capsule, right? And then I would, if I wanted to, I could put any of the supplement facts. If I didn't want to, let me just put test here so I know to erase it. I would press scan and I'd have my V vitamin there. And it would take the frequency of my B vitamin and it would save it. So now when I go, I would press save also. Now when I go and I do my quick scan, when I click morning and I go through and do all my things, it'll take the top 5 supplements that I need from the morning. And I can click as many as I want. So if I want to know which essential oils to use, which hormones, patches, teas, whatever, I can click whatever. And when I go through and do my quick scan, it will start with recording your voice. Right now it's doing a mini voice. Which things it's recorded in my voice, the strong notes and the things that are not strong. And then it's giving me my top supplements that I should take. Right. So it says I need some tea tree oil. So that makes me think, okay, I've got something bacterial or viral maybe going on, saying CBD Delta 8, estrogen cream, Aromatouch oil, Ionix Gold. So that's something for my gut, and then probiotics. Right. And if I click finish, then it's going to go through and it's going to do vitals and comprehensive.
It does do that when you hit finish? I thought it just finishes what
Oh,
you're.
that's Easy Scan. Sorry, my bad. Easy Scan does a vitals and quick scan.
But I know how to add stuff into my library, but what I'm saying is like when you went to quantum homeopathics, you could choose the homeopathics or you saw a list. There used to be a list of like B1, B2, B3 that was already choosable from AO had already put it in there. Solex had already put it in there.
Did they get rid of it?
Yeah, because I used to run it because I have issues with B12 and now I can't find it anymore. So I would do that in addition to it was somewhere and I went to go use it one day and it was gone.
That's
I think
interesting.
Nadia, this is Lauren. I think it might be under homeopathics by symptoms, the vitamin substitutes, if that's what you were
They do have
thinking
that
of.
there. They do have
I'm
that.
not sure if that's what you were referring to, but
Yes.
It's not
Thank
quite
you.
the same as what they had, but yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
Thank you.
You recommend that we do the quick scan then to know our supplements for each meal?
If you want to. I muscle test, but if you want to, you can.
Okay.
You know, I do that, but it always freaks me out a little because I know that I'm deficient in some, so I always take more than 6, but I make sure that I get the 6 they have.
Yeah, definitely. Jeannie, you had your hand up.
No, I was just, I think it was answered. I was just thinking that, does it lessen the quality when you are imprinting it, you're putting the vitamin in one spot and it's going into the water. Does that lessen the quality of the vitamin that was on there?
It's just taking the frequency of it out. So it is a little bit different than actually taking it. I don't know if it lessens the quality, but it is definitely different.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Nadia, this is Liz, and I have a question. Going back to imprinting. I'm new to this, and I have not been erasing. So, just in regards to when I'm preparing my water, for example, it would be best to just would it be best to put water in a glass jar, erase it, then add the minerals and wand it, and then any homeopathy?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Because if we think about it, I mean, we're going to get gross for a second, right? If we think about where our water comes out of our tap, we talked about this in the first one, right? It's like it's going through everyone's body. It has all their medications. It's going into a sewer plant. They're putting chemicals in it. It still has all of the depression medicines in there. It has all of the anxiety. It has everyone's emotions too, right? We're recycling water that way. So it's good to erase it.
Okay. And would that also go for anything that we might purchase in a store, like coconut oil or even our tinctures, or, if we make them? Is it best
You have to be careful. For instance, when you purchase cell salts in a store, that's frequency. So you wouldn't want to erase that because it would erase the frequencies. But something like essential oil, it's not going to erase the oil of the flowers, if that makes sense, because that's like a physical thing. So just make sure it's not, if you go out and you buy Boiron pellets, you wouldn't want to erase that because that's all frequency. Because it would erase the frequencies of it.
Okay.
So if they're made by, like we're putting frequencies into something, you wouldn't want to erase it.
Okay. But if we want it, maybe it would be a good idea just to do some energy clearing on it first. If it was maybe, not, you don't know where it's been around, or you pass it around.
Exactly.
And
Okay. It's good.
Can I ask you a couple more questions with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I know you recommended just imprinting in glass. Okay. And then if you I'm sort of trying to cheat a little bit with time. So let's say I have like a bunch of maybe 4-ounce spray bottles that I have prepared.
Yeah.
Can I put them in a big glass bowl and imprint them? Or does it have to be directly on the Okay. And then what about if I have a 1-gallon jar or a 2-gallon jar, and then I close the lid and it's glass, and then I put something on top of it? Not as strong, but probably.
What do you mean something on top of it? If it was metal, it wouldn't go through the metal, but if it was like a glass lid, then it would go through. That's what you're asking.
Yeah, it has a metal ring, but for example, if I wanted to charge some water and at the same time I wanted to charge a couple of 4-ounce bottles with it just to.
Oh, I think I would do them separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Teresa, you were asking about flu. You could do influenzae. I just went to By Symptoms and did flu, and it also suggested this one. And then you could obviously do the symptoms, right? So if fever was involved, you could go there. You could just go down if you had a headache. You could do that. So in addition to that, I would do symptoms as well. And then nausea. So if you could do the same thing with the symptoms and the homeopathic for nausea, right? You'd go down and you'd look at that. If you want a playlist, go there. Lisa, you had your hand up. Do you still have your hand up for something, or was that answered? Go ahead. Here's the playlist for nausea if you want to take a screenshot of that. Yeah, make sure you get Nux vomica. That's a great one for nausea. Go ahead.
Question is more on the chakra and meridian. Excuse me. blockages and how to, on the, maybe on the spiritual side or on the the opening and the consistency of keeping things running. What do you suggest to keep that open or get it to open consistently?
Yeah, I would wand the meridian and then
I don't have a wand.
Okay. Do you have the infrared?
Yes.
Okay, you could do that. Do you have Cephi dots?
Yes.
So I would imprint Cephi dots and have them at the top of the meridian, maybe one point in the middle, and then the other one, and then you could sweep it with the infrared. And energetically, you could also do that same exercise that we just did, right? Just to have a visual picture in your mind and just like literally clear it out and with that golden liquid light and just clear all blockages.
And they are blockages, correct? I mean, are they like they could be blockages on the physical and or mental or emotional plane or all of the above?
Exactly. Yeah, all of the above. Just get rid of anything stopping the flow of the energy. Yeah. If something comes to mind while you're doing it, then you just release that. You know, sadness comes to mind, you would spend a little extra time on that. And then you were also asking about one lung that's physically flat, right? So
yeah.
There's a lung playlist you could play. And I would also make sure you're hitting lung and comprehensive. Here's the second part of that.
Whoops, I didn't get the first.
Okay.
Thank you. Got the second.
Okay.
Okay, got the first. Thanks.
And then
and comprehensive.
You go to comprehensive, click lungs for sure.
Yes.
Every day, add that part of everything. And then literally, I mean, this has actually happened. I know someone that it happened to. Energetically build your lung again. Inflate it, visually inflate it. Perfect DNA, have the intention. It may take a little bit of time, but that intention. I know it's happened to some people.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that many years ago. It seemed to work. And now it's like all flat out again, all still physiologically flat. So I will do that. Thank you. I'm still concerned and I really would like to be able to open my access to receiving. It's not flowing. I can't even see the color. Like, I mean, I asked for golden liquid light.
Yeah,
and that upsets me a lot because I was
okay. So instead of doing that, what's your happy place? Where do you love to go? Beach, mountains, somewhere outside? What's your happy place?
Probably the mountains.
Just go there in your mind's eye.
Okay.
Imagine yourself sitting in a beautiful place and just imagine how you feel. Imagine all of your, what you smell, what you see. Just find a way to calm your central nervous system down. It doesn't have to be golden liquid light. It could be anything. Just find a way to do it, right? So for me, it would be the beach. I'd be sitting on a beach and I would hear and feel the waves, like go into all your senses because your brain pay attention to the senses. So when you're in the mountains, I don't know if you like to be by a creek or wherever you like to be, imagine yourself just sitting there, sun shining on you, and just think of how you would feel. Like, where would you feel the sun? Would it be on your skin? Would it be, just go into your senses to see if you can open it up. It doesn't have to be what I say. It can be whatever you want. You can do it. Facial diagnosis of cell salts. Yeah. That's pretty cool. What's 24 hours, Teresa? I'm not sure what 24 hours is. Could a custom play?
I think I put 24 hours on there for how long the water was lasting for charging cell salts.
Oh, for you it is?
Yeah, I don't know, like especially if it's not protected or not like away from I don't know.
It really depends.
Yeah. So
yeah. I have mine whenever I charge things, I have little jars everywhere, kind of like a little pharmacy, and I have it next to crystals, and it's kind of like in a copper area. So mine lasts a little bit longer, right? So if you create your own pharmacy, protected pharmacy, and you make it beautiful around plants and running water, it'll last longer, right? Like it can make something to last longer.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Custom playlist. Yeah, I think I have a custom playlist for cell salts. Yep.
Speaking of Matt, of the mountains, would it be possible to set up a playlist for setting up a future goal or visualization of where you would like to live or have your happy place, or set up something that you would, let's say, a little cabin in the mountains somewhere? Like,
do that.
Is that possible to set that up?
I how to do that. I'm also working my way down the list. We've got thyroid, Enma. Here's one for you for hormones.
Okay. I will make
first list.
When I review the video. Thank you.
And here's the second one. Okay, so yes. You would go and you would click on spaces and objects. Okay. You would click the plus button and you can name it. You say cabin in the mountains?
Yeah.
Okay, cabin, beautiful cabin in the mountains. Okay, tell me about this cabin. Where is it?
Where's the cabin? In British Columbia.
Okay. Is it by water?
Yes, there has to be water.
How far away is it from you?
From where I am now?
Where do you want it? You're creating this cabin. Where do you want it?
Well, I live like 24 hours from the mountains. So, like I want it like, I want it like right now, right now. I've been wanting it for 20 years. So
how many bedrooms does it have?
It's gonna have 2 bedrooms. 2 doesn't need to be big.
Okay. What color is it? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, blue. Let's do blue.
Okay, so you're going to continue. Create your dream house. Maybe you find a picture of your dream house. Maybe you take a photo of your dream house, you upload it, and then you save it. Okay, so let's just find it. So now we're going to go back to Sefi and custom playlist. So I have a beach house in here. And this is what I named mine because I'm saving up for a beach house. And this is my playlist for it. You could do a couple things. You could send it to yourself, or you could go down. There's my future beach house. You could go and put your mountain house in. And now you're sending it to your future beautiful cabin. You could go in and you could put it to your bank account because you need money. Here's my bank account. You could add it just like you did. And then you play this.
Oh, yes.
Every time I run this, like literally every time I run this, I don't usually have time. Sometimes I forget. A lot of times I forget. I have 1 or 2 people that sign up for AO. Crazy.
It's awesome. But how do you put it in your bank account? Like or do you just run a bank account as well? Or
so you come here, you add spaces and objects.
Yeah.
You click on the plus sign when it's done. Bank account. Do the titles. I went online. I took a screenshot of my bank account and you save it.
Oh.
And do you put something in description here?
Yeah. BB&T, put your bank account number.
You took a screenshot of your real bank account or the one that you would like to have created?
It's my real bank account. I want money to go into my real bank account. I don't want it to go to someone else.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I got it.
Mine. I don't mind.
So see, here's my little screenshot. I went to my app
Yeah.
and it has my info there. And now I would go to custom playlist and I would go down to my beach house one. And it's now running to my bank account, not me.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thanks. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
Yeah.
I
Why
know.
not?
Crazy.
Why not play? Like, I mean, why not?
Why not? Okay, someone's asking, Tracy's asking about brain fog. Here we go. We've got brain neural clarity. This is the one. And here's two. Okay, we've got mucus and candida. Candida is going to come up first. Here's candida. Don't forget, candida feeds cancer. That's why I have cancer in there, right? And then mucus. Someone's spraying something. What are they spraying?
Sorry, that's me. I'll put it on mute.
Okay. I'm thinking, oh, I should smell something whenever.
Laceration water.
Okay, good. Okay, so here's allergies, but I would go in and edit it, and under quantum frequency, there's a mucus, so I would add mucus to this. Here's mucus.
Sorry, do you suggest putting any essential oils in the water as well after? Because I have been doing that without, or
if you want to, you can. Yeah, I could put some tea tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tea tree and maybe lavender.
Yeah. I do not have spleen in here, but we went over that playlist in the presentation, right? So that's in there. All family declared DNA. So you would do one of these. I think most of us have a DNA one. You would go in and you would put in family. So I already have one in, but same process. Click on your name. Click on spaces and objects. Click on the plus sign. Let's family, 5 people plus my grandson. I would have a photo here, and I would press save. I have one, so let me go to it. Oh, actually, I had to go back out. So then I would come here. I go to custom playlist. I would find one of my DNA ones, and I would go to my target, and then I would go down to the Let's family. So now I am playing towards the Let's family, the DNA repair. Right?
Okay, thank you.
And Teresa's right, intention and prayer while you're doing it, for sure. Estrogen cream. I put in, I don't buy it, I make it. So I have one that a pharmacy made for me, and then I imprint adrenal thyroid and I imprint exosomes in there also. So it's not one you just buy over the counter. Methylated B brands, I like Pure Encapsulated and Now. Yeah, why not? Go to any island. All right. Any other questions?
I have 2 questions. One is, how do you amplify? And I'm having a hard time figuring that out on my scanner. You said something about you have like a copper thing, or
I have it here. I posted a video of it, but basically you just take your scanner and you can put any copper or any gold on your scanner as it's running. It'll amplify it. You can put crystals on it. It'll amplify it. I have
this little copper heart.
Yeah, pop it on.
Okay.
Yep, that'd be great. Any copper, any gold, it'll amplify it.
So where do you put it, and how do you run whatever you're trying to run with it? Could you give me an example?
So you can run anything and you just pop it right on the screen.
So if you're running a playlist, there's no screen that's got like a, the little, when you imprint or,
Right. You can just pop it right on there. It's okay.
okay, you just put it right on top of, like, for example, I put copper on top of that playlist and broadcast it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other question I had is, how do you do the story thing? I tried doing that this morning. A playlist directed to my story.
Okay, so here we go. We click on your name, spaces and objects.
Okay.
Click on the plus sign. Deb's story.
Okay.
Write your story here. Copy paste it if you already have it in. Just put your story in there. If you want to take a photo of your story, put it here if you've written it. When you handwrite something, it has more value to it. So maybe you handwrite your story, you take a photo, you put it here, and then you save it. And then that will show up under your target. So now when you go to run any feel good, anything on Quantum Reach, right? So you could even run chakras to your playlist. I have one called Good Vibes. It's pretty much all good things. You would come up here and you'd click your story and you'd be running it to your story.
Okay. Got it. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Are we done?
Yes.
I think so. It was so great, Nadia. I really appreciate all the knowledge you shared with us.
Nadia, I got one more question, if it's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I don't know much about. For example, in the scan, sometimes it comes like you got some kind of mold. I'm a little bit worried about mold. We have been damaged by it.
Yeah.
For example, my daughter is coming with mold more than us.
Mhm.
And do you think it might be the school?
You'd have to test for that.
How do you test?
Muscle test.
Muscle testing.
Yeah. It could also be energetic. It could be from a past thing, maybe not right now. But what you could do is you could run a mold free, run it to her. If you think it's a school, put her school in. If you think it's in the bathroom, put the bathroom in here. Send it to the bathroom.
No, our house is new. It has nothing. I've been even checking how they were building it. We moved because of that. So it has to be. I think my husband and me were quite clean in the scans. Do you think the scan will pick it up if we had mold?
So even if you moved somewhere, you're still going to have frequencies of mold left in your body, right? So it's good to, even if you are in a clean house now, it's important to get rid of all the mold fungus out of your body. So I would still run this if you've been in mold in the past.
How do you do this mold free? I do it my own list. I copied that one from you.
Yeah, copy it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if all of a sudden your window starts leaking, send this to the room where the window is.
Okay. And how long do you normally broadcast? 10 minutes?
So if it's going to an object, you don't have to worry about any detox symptoms. It can go 24/7. If it's going to yourself, you don't want to run it 24/7. But if I'm sending it to a house or a car or an object, it can run 24/7.
Okay, thank you.
For instance, if you have insects, right? You have ants, you have whatever.
I see you have mold-free house. That's what, do you do the detox to the house?
Yep, you can do it to the house. So let's say I had, well, I do actually. I have ladybugs that keep sneaking in here, right?
Oh yeah, we do too. Yeah.
And I know that they can cause some big problems, right? So I'm going to copy this because it's not a bite, but let's do this. I'll show you exactly how I do it. So in-house, let's see, I'm not going to really need antibiotics. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of infections. I have insect detox, but I don't have, I'm going to come down to homeoenergetics and I am going to add pesticide detox. This works really well. And I would save that. I would go up to my, I'm going to do my whole house. And I can run it to my whole house. Now that's not
for scorpions too.
Yeah, anything. It's not going to me, so I can run it overnight. I can run it 24/7. In fact, I did this for squirrels. We had squirrels in our walls. And I did this, and then I also went to YouTube, and they make this frequency that squirrels hate, or any insects or whatever. And we played that as well.
Spiders. My God, spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
gone. Yeah. So you're so welcome. Oh, exosomes are, you take an umbilical cord from a baby, and they spin it down and they pull out the stem cells from an umbilical cord. So it's called exosomes. So I got some exosomes, and then I made frequencies of exosomes. And I like to add that to things as well. Yeah, squirrels. That was
Can you
real.
share the exosomes with us or no?
So they're actual vials.
Uh,
Yeah, I can't. It's not like a frequency I can send to you, if that makes sense.
okay, got it.
If you want one, you can message me and I can. They're kind of expensive, and the exosomes I brought were it was $10,000. It's super expensive. So then I took a drop in and amplified it. Oh, I also for another amplifier, I hook it up to a Rife generator. Also, you can do that, and you can hook it up to this infopathy disc that can amplify all the minerals and stuff like that. So there are so many different amplifiers. So anyway, I amplified the exosomes. It has a drop in it, and so I have little vials of exosomes that I put on top of like scanners and stuff like that. I did it for when we were doing the DNA. I had the vials on top of the scanner, and some other vials too, to optimize the DNA.
Nadia, are you able to show that share that squirrel and any rodent playlist on
Right
the
here.
screen? Oh, this is a squirrel. This is for
Yeah.
squirrels and
This is for
rodents
all
too.
of them,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
The insect detox, the pesticide detox. And then if you go to YouTube and just type in whatever it is, get rid of rat frequency, it'll have a frequency and they'll run away. Funny story, like we had a squirrel, and it had babies outside. A squirrel dropped down from the nest, and it was sitting on our deck, and it looked like it was dead, but I called animal control. They said, no, just play a frequency of a baby calling for a mom, and the mom will come down and grab it. So put an iPad out there, played the frequency, watched the mom come down, grab the squirrel, and went back up. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can find lots of frequencies for rodents on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there also a possibility that we can use it for plants that we don't want on our property?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah, put the property in, send it to the property, do some research, find out, which things. There have to be some homeopathic remedies in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, what about the health of some of our trees? I know some of them are being affected a little bit because
Yeah. Chem detox, pesticide detox, love, peace, any of that stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Oh, what's the name of the new group you're gonna be starting?
Oh, it's going to be DNA reset. I have it all set up. I just haven't added the new people yet. So I'll have to do that today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
This
much.
has
Bye.
been
Thanks.
Have a great
awesome.
weekend.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.